to win this thing as she headlines the heat with Nikki Van Dijk and also Sage Erickson. Round 3 matchup where we see third place eliminated. But Kanoa, what are you liking about this swell today? There's a lot of energy, and it seems like the best we've had in the waiting period so far.
Yeah, you know, JV's providing so well for these girls. The waves are pumping. Swell direction is perfect. Can't ask for much more.
And we're getting things started. Opening rides. Nice, clean form from Stephanie Gilmore. Stretching this one out. One of the best styles in the game. Getting down the line. Clean top turn for Gilmore. Oh. Draws it off the top and incomplete in transition. What looked to be a beautiful start for the 6-time world champ.
Well, nervous moments for me every time Steph stands up on her first wave. I think a real telltale sign on how her heat's going to unfold. She's looking confident so far on this wave, but then hooks into these maneuvers there. And you always hope that Steph doesn't fall on her first wave, and as soon as she does, it kind of rattles her a little bit. It almost makes her feel like she's got to play catch-up, but positive signs at the early stages of this wave. I mean, beautiful point break situation. Steph feeling right at home here, but just over-rotating just a little bit. Didn't quite connect with that turn there. I thought she was going to expect a little bit of drift from those fins, a little bit of release. It didn't do that. Steph goes down, but early stages, 40-minute heats. It's a lifetime out there.
You feel like you had a serious advantage with everything he was passing down to you.
Oh, of course. The 2-time winner. You know, he surfs this wave so well, reads it so well, and yeah, waves are pumping today. Take it away, guys.
Here we go, driving down the line, Nikki Van Dijk from Phillip Island. Setting up that first snap right around the corner, big section. Landing right in front of her is going to force her to eject.
The bigger ones kind of go a little wider, especially with the tide the way it is. You want those medium ones that kind of almost give you that first part of the wave that's nice and clean, i.e. Steph's wave, but then also it gets you that really nice inside section.
Here goes Sage Erickson. Wild takeoff with some turbulence on the open face. Now just trying to control it to get down the line. Erickson lines up a clean little whip off the top. Just one maneuver section again. So 187 for Van Dijk, similar number for Erickson. Gilmore out in front with a 4.0.
Love beating him. We're competitive.
Oh, we love that. Back to this one with a setup wrap for Sage Erickson. Representing Ojai and Ventura, California. Getting a little bit hung up, but she recovers. Off the top, she'll have to get out of there. So not the ride she was looking for, going the distance, 183. What happened there, Potts?
You know, for me, you want to be out on the open face. You don't want to be playing catch-up here at Jeffreys Bay. If you're trying to draw back around those sections, you're generally going to be a little bit too late. So getting caught up there as well, that's not going to help. You want to be wiping off speed down here at Jeffreys Bay, especially once you come into that inside section. Impossibles, that's where the wave starts to hit the gas. That's when you need to be just pedal to the metal.
Dream scenario, more action right out the back here. Gilmore. There's that clean, stylish wrap off the top. Jams it under the hood and goes down. So a couple of falls for Stephanie on her first 2 strikes. 4.0 is her opener. And it'll be another small score there with 26.5 to go.
And she pulls it off. She does something radical. Then it just opens the floodgates for her. But if she falls on her first wave, that's when you kind of go, uh-oh, this is going to be a strange heat for Steph Gilmore. Just sort of, you know, and a substandard wave too. I mean, look at the wave she's catching. It's you know, half the size of what's out there.
That's something I think she needs to just get back to. Just get back into that headspace, go back onto that rail, and see that beautiful style turn down into the bowl. A question for Kanoa. Well, actually, we got live action. Let's get back to that first.
Thanks, Waz. Nikki Van Dijk driving under the lip. Clean snap to get this one started. Wrapping cut back from the state of Victoria in Australia. Just wrapping a couple more moves. Fading that cut back to the inside. Nice, easy tempo and pace. Van Dijk cracks it down the line. So packing in the maneuvers. Nice, easy tempo to watch. Making sure she gets the finish. Oh. Until then, Whitewater takes her down, and she'll be getting her best score so far. 3-4-7 gets you where she wants to be in the top 2. Nikki's in Portugal and Sage with the U.S. Open win. What happened on this one, Potts?
Well, so the first wave of the set, so you can see the next one a lot bigger. And I think sometimes, you know, you can get caught in that situation of, you know, which wave do I go for? To me, honestly, you got to let that first one go. It's half the size. It almost like it fills in, you know, the water for wave number 2, and wave number 2 generally is the better one. So you can see a lot of downtime on this wave, not a lot of dynamic stuff. So I'm not seeing this score go that big. A nice finish, but she gave it away. Why? Because it's super dry on those smaller ones.
So we'll have the jet ski assist in the quarterfinals once we get to the one-on-one heats. More sets out the back. Making a move on this one is Stephanie Gilmore. Her last wave just in the 3 range. Big wind-up. Clean top turn start for the 6-time world champ. Setup work as this thing's going to set up down the line. Just flowing through the full parts of the wave. Now starting to bowl up. Speed building for Gilmore. Running after the inside track, and she'll slip off once again. Her 3rd straight fall for Gilmore as we wait for scores to come through for Nikki Van Dijk.
Gotta have strong legs and, not be nervous.
As we take another look out the back. Setup work looked nice and clean, Potts. Looks like she was picking the right maneuvers out of the gates.
Yeah, I think, and she has been. I mean, both waves that she's had earlier, the early signs on the wave were positive. Just nice and easy tempo, waiting for the wave to react, sort of stand up and then react. Now, this section of the wave here, those legs are starting to burn right now. You can see moving that foot back on the pad, coming off the bottom, and definitely in 2 minds on what she wanted to do there. I mean, that wave stood up maybe a little quicker than she expected. And just got caught.
Waves on the way, 16 on the clock. Priority was Sage Erickson. Erickson paddling for now her 3rd attempt in this heat, trying to avoid an elimination in that 3rd spot. Nice easy pace to that cut back off the top. Another little sweeping hook through the open face. A lot of foam on this one. She'll fight to hang on to her rail line there. Off the bottom and just getting lost in transition. Erickson looking to better a 1.83, needing a 3.38. See what happened out the back, Potts.
Well, as Kanoa said, once you get that white water involved, you've got to expect less drive, and you can see how tentative Sage is on these first couple of turns. And then once the space starts to pick up speed, it's almost like it leaves you behind. For me, you want to be out in front. It's like Sage, you need to be another 2 or 3 meters out on the open face of that wave. The less fading in the pocket until that wave starts going.
Replays and not being stoked on how I'm surfing, and that's all it was.
Oh, made this big switch into a semifinal just last week as we see Gilmore in transition. Steph now, nice top turn, keeping it clean. There's that beautiful flow that she brings to all the waves on tour. Oh. Nice commitment on that top turn wrap. Controls it into the pocket again. Drives one off the top, and now thinking about a final end section float off the roof into the flats. And Gilmore completing her first ride of the matchup with 12:14 on the clock. Going to feel a little bit safer with her attempt to get into the quarters here. Let's see what happened, Potts, off the back.
Well, it's been a strange heat compared to the last one. I mean, Lake Peterson dropping 9s, Coco with 8s, and there's some big scores. It was a really consistent heat. So the ocean taking a little bit of a breather as far as the bigger set waves go, but you don't necessarily want those. Steph found a little gem here, beautiful flow. We know she's got that. Growing up at Snapper Rocks, this kind of wave really will suit her style of serving. That was better. See how she showed a little bit more commitment. There was a little less doubt on what she was going to do on that turn, and that's what she needs to do. She just needs to commit to her turns, believe that she's got this thing, and she's surfing well. This is the best wave of the heat so far, and this is all Steph needed. This is going to give her confidence moving forward. You can see a little bit more pep in her step, and I think she's going to go now from strength to strength.
I think every surfer that's surfed out here has done a high line. So that's what it's so special about this wave, loading up, giving it your all.
Really cool to see how much speed that they're gathering right on the takeoff. This is Nikki Van Dijk getting herself around this section. Big wind up off the bottom. She's projecting down the line to attack this big wall. Clean snap there. Showing the fins off the bottom. Wrapping it, so picking her points well on this one. Driving off the bottom, clean under the lip hook, and she'll step off.
Look at Nikki's first, and we'll get back to that, but second wave of the set for Nikki Van Dijk. Nice high line. There's that high line you were talking about. Kanoa gets that speed up, and then really laying into those big turns. Again, I think all these surfers may be riding shorter boards than they should. I think you can actually go up another step up here at Jeffreys Bay. It'll just give you that little bit more confidence and draw those lines out a bit better. But it's a learning experience for these young ladies. As Kanoa said earlier, they're learning on the fly.
Look at Sage Erickson on the next wave. Little wrapping turn just to stay in the power source here. starting to bowl up off the bottom. Erickson lines up a clean wrap off the top. She'll finish and get out of there. So at the 10-minute mark, we probably just saw the 3 best waves just go back to back to back. Erickson looking to ditch the 2.93.
3 surfers looking a little bit more comfortable, but it just seems to me like Sage's wave selection started off nicely on this one, nice and clean open face, but then that white water then again starts to get involved. But see how clean Sage's turns are once you get out on that clean face. Smaller wave in the set, so a little bit of white water influence as she comes through the inside. Looking a little bit more confident, starting to work it out, and then finishing strong. But Kanoa, we haven't seen any barrels yet.
Improving your surfing, comes with that is confidence, and confidence comes with good decision making in heats. And it's all this chain that all leads up to to heat wins. And I think she really did that last year, and hopefully she can put it together here.
Continuing on with this one, Gilmore. There's that clean flow. Getting this one started, another wrap. Total control for Gilmore so far. Nice flow down the line once again. Beating that section, now pulling in. Gilmore gets the completion. Clean arc coming out of the barrel and putting this one together with a beautiful pace.
She's going to come in around about that 5-point range, but Steph, I mean, from the get-go on this wave, just dropping that completion right on that 6.83, she's just looking so much more confident now. Cruising down the line and then finds the tube ride, which, I mean, the Queen of Snapper Rocks, she owns the right at the Wave Ranch and looking really good here at Jeffreys Bay, so it looks like she's going to better her situation.
Unbelievable ride there, 7.67. And I think the biggest takeaway just watching her ride that wave, Kanoa, was just her demeanor. She looked more relaxed, more comfortable, proving on the fly. Nikki Van Dijk, fun-looking wave to answer. Gilmore sent Nikki into an extra round, dealt with round 2. Nikki trying to get Gilmore back here, bowling up, clean snap off the top. Jams it out front again. Now a little wrapping turn. Thinking about her last few maneuvers. She'll do some setup work. Dealing with the turbulence closer to the bricks, and she'll get a turn and sneak out of there before it doubles up and unloads. So we've seen the improvement from Van Dijk from a 5, last wave 5.27. But really stealing the show on that last one, Stephanie Gilmore with some beautiful form.
Nikki Van Dijk starting to look a little more confident with just with her wave selection and maneuver choice. I love that wide stance, that nice low center of gravity. It really bodes well here at a place like Jeffreys Bay. I think the sort of the lower center of gravity you have, the better those big bottom turns are going to become and give you that drive, which is so important. And then this end section here is super tricky. Right over the bricks there, best to get out.
Erickson looking for a 4.47 here. Quick whip off the top. She's got a ton of momentum. Doesn't need a whole lot to get that spot in the quarters. Quick little redirect off the top. Driving out front. Clean wrapping turn. Carrying her speed well through all that foam on the face. She's earned herself this crazy double up on the inside and no room for maneuvers. And only chasing a 4.47. Kanoa, did you like that one?
That was a sick one. It was such a hard wave to surf. Just catching a lot of these kind of foamy ones.
We check out the opening maneuvers out the back. Potts, what do you think about the first one?
Yeah, I mean, first turn, she's looking better and better as he's progressing. She's looking way more confident. She's working out that board too. That board's looking like it is absolutely on its edge to the, really handling to the max. Any bigger than this, any faster than this, I think Sage would be having a lot of trouble. But just the wave selection for me is letting Sage down. Nothing to do with her surfing. I think she's surfing incredible.
Meanwhile, more waves on the way, and an important one for Van Dijk. Needs a 5.81 to save her position in the event. The Victorian driving hard off the bottom. Little wrapping turn down the line. Beautiful bottom turn to set up that little top turn wrap. Just pacing her way through this inside corner. A battle for second to get a spot in the quarters coming down to this ride. Stabs it real quick off the lip. Nikki again down the line, projects. She'll be taking this wave way down to tubes and kicking out down by the free surf session. And we've run out of time. So heat that started with a couple of falls that really started warming up towards the back end. Finishes at the buzzer.
She's looking as well. She's looking way more comfortable towards the back end of this heat, but this was one of those strange ones that kind of separated. You can see that little reform, the little double up in front of her. which generally means that back part of the wave is going to fade away pretty quickly, and that's exactly what happened. So, unfortunate for her.
Well, looks like it comes in the 4 range, not enough. Erickson and Gilmore move on to the quarters, and it was a real treat to have Kanoa Igarashi join us in the booth. Where are you going to head after Jeffreys Bay?
Well, my big focus now is to go surf after the contest. And then I'm on an early flight tomorrow to Russia to watch the final.